Engel, I'm so appreciative of you meeting with me today. Every single buyer that I meet always has the same concerns. They'd like to understand, how are the schools? What is your best advice to someone who's looking to move into a community to learn more about the schools?
Sure. So, when I meet with our new families every summer and I ask them why they are here, why they come to Warren Township, they say basically the same thing, which is, I came here because of the school system. And when I talk to them about how did you make that decision, what factors did you consider, one area people look at is what's available easily online. And I would say from the school district, and any school district, not just ours, is if you go on the district's website and you click through, you get a pretty good sense of the values of that school district. So if you were to go onto our school district website right now, on the main page you would see pictures of students engaged in really great things. So you'd see them out in the community doing public service of some kind. You'd see them in classrooms engaged in innovative experiences. And if you dig in a little bit more and go to each school's website and you read the announcements from the principals, you see the PTO websites, you can really get a feel for the community. So that's not hard data, that's not numbers about test scores and that sort of thing, but it's more about, what's the feeling, what's the community feeling? And I know for us, that is a really important part, especially of our elementary experience, that we have 4 neighborhood elementary schools where families are really part of the school experience. And I think you can learn that just by seeing what a school or a school district values enough to put up on its website.
I appreciate that. For me, my kids went through the school district, and the feeling and the understanding of the schools of, those intrinsic values that can't be determined from a ranking site. And so we struggle every day to try to answer these questions for consumers. What are the schools really like, and how does that differ from sometimes the data we're seeing on these ranking sites?
Sure, and the ranking sites have a place. So I think as a consumer looking among maybe several different communities that all have similar reputations for their school districts, schools, or similar home values and that sort of thing, those websites give a hard and fast ranking, which is very convenient. We like that. Yes. What I would encourage people to do when they're using those sites, though, is to dig a little bit deeper than whatever the top number is. So if you go on to any of them, they're going to have some kind of aggregation system, and they all publish a methodology. And I know it takes an extra few minutes, but if you click on that methodology, you'll find exactly what data they're using, and you'll see that they vary widely. And even within the same system, they might vary widely. So for example, in the New Jersey Department of Education system, which now has a rating score that they started publishing last year, schools that have a high number of students who don't speak English get a different kind of numerical rating than schools that have a lower number of students who don't speak English. But they're all on one list. And so it's different data. And it's hard, you're comparing apples to oranges without really even knowing it. On the greatschools.org website, which is a very common one when people are looking for homes, schools that do not have a high enough population of students in certain subgroups, for example, free and reduced lunch, they don't give you data for that if you don't have enough students. Instead, they give you an average of all the schools in the state in a certain category. And so in Warren, for example, our 4 elementary schools get about 25% of their score from data that has nothing to do with the students in those schools. So my advice to parents is, use it to give you a sense, but then dig in a little bit. And one of the other things to keep in mind is, especially at the elementary school level, where the cohorts are small in a smaller school district, a couple of kids changing from passing to not passing or vice versa on a state test might change the percentage by 5 percentage points. And so we tried to look at the aggregate information. What does it look like from the whole school district? All 4 of our elementary schools have a unique feel and culture and climate, but they all have the same curriculum, same expectations, the same preparation for the middle school. And so if you look at the highest level of school, middle school or high school, depending on the district, you get a sense of what the whole community's performance looks like.
And I think we've been able to show that as well. We loved working with you in collaboration, creating 4 unique videos for the elementary schools. I think you can get a great feel from those as well about the pulse, right? The heart of these schools. And, I try every day to educate the consumer, and that's why these types of videos and your cooperation and partnership with us is so appreciated, because the consumer really needs to understand that the ranking is just a number, and to dig a little deeper, as you said.
Right, and if I could just follow up on that, those videos are extremely helpful because one of the questions we often get that we can't really abide by is people asking to take tours of the buildings.
Right.
And obviously, if we gave a tour to every family that was considering moving into Warren, we would have people parading through our buildings all the time, which creates some safety and security concerns for us. So to get to those videos you mentioned, if you go to our website and then click on each school's name, the main picture right there has the link to the video. And
Wonderful.
it really does give a quick snapshot of what does it actually look and feel like inside a Warren school.
Yeah, so appreciative. I feel so lucky to live here, and my kids have gone through the schools, and I just want to expose it as much as possible to people who are considering moving to Warren and know how great your work and the teachers here are doing. So I appreciate it very
Absolutely.
much.
We're very proud of our school district and happy to tell everybody about it.
Yeah, shout from the rooftops.
Right, absolutely.
Well, thank you again very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Okay.